Foodshops. Foodshops is live. Okay, I thought she wasn't live.
Yep.
Then
We got a whole.
Oh, hey, I was just watching
I
this.
really got a problem here. So this guy's in. So he's the president. He's the president of what union? Just so,
I think it's like the Farm Workers Union. I read. I was reading about it the other day.
let's see.
Confirming the name of it right now. Oh no, it's the Service Workers, Service Employees International.
I can't really tell what's going on. It looks like they're outside their facility or something.
Yeah, I think they were protesting outside one of their little bases, mating bases.
Well, since he was targeted and kidnapped, do we know what happened to him?
I think he's still in custody as of last night. Let me see if there's been any updates today.
Well,
Union leader faces this from 2 hours ago. Union leader faces federal charges of conspiracy to impede an officer during the LA ice raid.
give me a break.
Yep.
He was literally standing there.
There's people in our chat that are in this union.
Oh, he's out on bond.
This is your union president.
The biggest one, apparently.
Yeah.
Did you see that Trump is talking about removing federal funding for California?
Just all together.
Which is so fucking nuts.
Yeah.
California pays pretty much for everybody.
Not for everybody, but yeah, we are a net. Like we
Four
give
times
we
more.
give more, significantly more to the federal government than we receive. So
By like 4 times.
yeah.
And so Gavin Newsom's like, okay, if you do that, we're not paying federal tax anymore. And I was like,
Right,
okay.
which is a pithy line.
Oh, damn.
What does that mean?
I'm not sure. I like the idea of not paying federal tax. I think
Right.
that means he wants to do a civil war.
Yeah, I mean.
Probably isn't a good idea, but also at the same time, I think it's fucking insane that what Trump's doing too.
Right. No, for sure.
I don't-
Yeah, I just meant like it's like we pay taxes directly.
Yeah, I didn't even know about that.
Federal government don't go
That's
to the
crazy.
system, so who?
A total stop on federal funding to California?
Border.
Just
What?
pay your taxes, we won't come after you.
Well,
Did he actually say that? Let's find out.
Say.
Pay taxes.
Right.
Let's ask AI. I want to ask AI
I
this.
don't know, but
Let me. Well, I need to ask a different question first. Hey, Copilot,
During his tax cut, he removed the.
are you up to date on current news?
Which, if you own a house, would significantly impact your tax liability.
Did Trump
Removing funding
say he wants to
institute
halt all federal
that's too much.
funding to
yeah, and it's just like,
California?
I mean, especially the colleges. Like California has an excellent university.
Threatened to withhold large-scale federal funding from California, particularly in response to the state's policies on transgender athletes in school sports. Wow.
Stanford.
He stated that federal funds could be rescinded if California did not comply with his executive order banning male participation in women's sports. Additionally, reports suggest that this administration is considering full termination of federal agent funding,
You know, there's
or federal grant funding of California's universities. In response, Governor Gavin Newsom has floated the idea of withholding tens of billions of federal tax dollars from that California contributes annually.
The most people vote for
That's crazy.
state.
just by
Just by sheer population.
That's crazy.
The fact that California is so
Doesn't California pay more in taxes than they receive already?
that you lost California. Anyway, here's a little clip of the scale of the protest.
It's considered a donor state. Wow. All right, thank you, Copilot.
On the news, it started to get
I love AI. I love trusting AI. AI is my friend.
or not,
I'm siding with AI, okay, in the robot uprising,
Listen,
but
in the Terminator X universe.
not a lot of protesters doing that.
I think if Frogan, oh yeah, that's gross.
that
Frogan streams used to be about mental health. She studied that.
geography and layout. Yep. all of this that you've been seeing has been happening basically within like a 2-block area around City Hall in Los Angeles. Because I've had like friends reach out and it's like, "Are you okay?" Because I happen to live near downtown, pretty relatively close to this.
All right, well, let's send Foodshops a message.
Was
Message.
texting me yesterday morning, like, "Are you guys safe?" And I'm relatively close to this, and let me tell you,
I don't really know how to phrase it because I want to talk to her, okay? I had some chat. Here's what happened, okay? I got a comment from one of her viewers on a video about her that I made. Here she's speaking.
Out like different fucking clips, right? Of like specifically violent moments, right? Obviously these moments are not okay, you know, I will say that. But like you have to think about what percentage of the protest is like that, right? Like you have to think about that. You know, obviously I just don't think people like Decoy Voice even care about being honest, right? Like
I think she's making a point about proportional violence. Like, it's a very, yeah, she's right. It's a small percentage of people being violent in these protests.
Alright, there's nobody who is
But they're sending in the fucking Marines.
people like Decoy Voice, okay? And then you have people like Asmongold and other anti-SJW people who are essentially just signal boosting Decoy Voice, okay? Signal boosting the people who are like deliberately lying. And I don't think they care either about Decoy Voice being honest or not, because otherwise it would have already double checked that, yeah, you know what, the protest isn't that bad, but like obviously they're gonna be kind of crazy.
and the National Guard, and now I guess I don't know if it's actually.
Hey, Foodshops. Food shops. Yeah, I spelled it right. It's me again. I know you missed me. Nah, I'm not gonna say that. Oh yeah, anyway, I was talking about what happened. Yeah. So one of her viewers left a comment on my video saying, you know, I want to debate you, or sorry, she wants to debate you. She wants to debate you, and I was like, okay, like that's cool. And I never got a response. I said I would do it, and I didn't get a response. And my plan was to come into her chat and ask her if she wanted to debate. But unfortunately, that day I didn't feel like it, and I didn't feel like it because of something that happened. I had a pet. Her name was Cornflake, and she passed away a few days ago. Rest in peace, Cornflake. I know it's really sad. She was a rat. She was my pet rat. She was the last of her family. So she was the last man standing. She was my final rat. And she lived for a long time. And I felt especially guilty because she lived a lot. She lived 6 months longer than her eldest, her closest, she lived 6 months longer than her last sibling that died. So she lived to be about 3.5. And actually it was more like 7 months. And, like, all she had was me. Like, she didn't have anyone else, no other rats. And I kind of regret doing that, and it hurt a lot when she died. I felt terrible. Rats are social creatures. They like to be around other rats, and they don't like to be alone. They get depressed. And it really, like, pains me to think that in her last few months she was just, like, very lonely all the time, and that's why I tried to keep her company off stream. Like, obviously I can't keep up with a rat while I'm streaming, okay? I just can't. But whenever I wasn't streaming, I would. You know, the thing about rats is that if you don't keep a close eye on them, they will get into the wall and the ceiling. So that's why, like, I didn't ever bring her out on stream. But anyway, I don't really know how to phrase it. I don't know. I'm not gonna mention my rat. I'm not gonna do that. Unless it, like, unless it's extracted out of me. I'm not gonna. But that is what happened, and anyway, I'd still like to have a conversation with her, or debate her, or whatever. I don't care. Okay, I'll debate. I can do that. I'm a debate master. Or a master debater, as some might say. But like, I don't know. I think that at once I send this message, it's highly likely she'll say, no, or like, you're a pussy. You didn't hit me up immediately, and I didn't feel like arguing about fucking Hassan or whatever the fuck we're gonna debate about, fucking Israel. Okay, I didn't feel like doing that. Best viewers on. I'm not repeating that. You are banned. Get the fuck out of here. Okay. Well, anyway, let's send the message. Let's type it. Let's see if she wants to talk. Hey, Foodshops. It's me again. Jacob. One of your viewers reached out to me a few days ago. He told me that you want to debate. I agreed, but never got a response. I'm interested in talking to you. I wanted to say, but it doesn't have to, like, be a debate. Nah, I don't really want to say that. I'm still interested in talking to you if you are as well, or something. I don't know. I didn't reach out because... Nah, I'm not going to say that. I was going to say for, like, personal reasons, but first of all, I don't need to justify it. I know I don't. And also, I don't really want to, like, tell her the specific reasons, so I'm not going to say for personal reasons either. Also, it just makes it sound like a fucking, like, job application. Or something. Like, yeah, due to personal reasons, I didn't respond. Yeah. I stand by all my videos, and there are some new ones. If you want to talk, I'm still open to that. Maybe I could delete, oh, alright, I'm probably gonna send that, but, I'll be right back.
My position on this has been and continues to be that shutting down highways is insanely unproductive and just gets regular people to
It gets regular people turning against you because
Yeah,
They
yeah.
got shit to do.
Yeah,
they
resist
got
the way
kids
I
that are
want you
sick.
to.
They got a job that they're gonna get fired from. They could be late to school. Like it doesn't make sense. You're hurting regular people.
Yeah.
You know.
Was this Saturday or was that Sunday?
I think this was Sunday. Which I guess Sunday to be fair, not as busy on Sunday.
That does not apply to the 101.
This side is still going, by the way.
Right, yeah. But like you said, just imagine being the guy in that front car, just like, fuck.
What if you got to take a shit and you're trying to get home?
That's it. Someone's gonna have diarrhea, bro. You don't know what they're dealing with. How did these poor guys get trapped here? Because you see, there's not a lot of cars. It seems like the police got ahead of it.
Right, yeah. It's just
I'm sure there's a
unlucky
ton of
few.
traffic back here, but these poor little column of cars got absolutely wrecked. Who knows how long they were stuck there?
Yeah.
At what point do you just abandon your car? You know?
I don't think that this full shutdown lasted the whole day. I think they cleared them out.
So
But
there's
yeah,
that.
like I said at the beginning of the show, if you're trying to get downtown, you should probably avoid the 101.
Yeah. Yeah. Paramount Ice protest.
Producer Dan, you're listening to KET.
Like Paramount Studios?
No, Paramount. It's down like kind of South LA.
1:30 p.m. Wait, the rioters have
They brought shields.
blast
bro.
shields?
Yeah.
Whoa. That's prepared.
Might have taken them.
Or
They
took
look
them from the.
professional.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Those look like they must have.
So outside of a Home
It,
Depot.
it doesn't look like there's a lot of opposition.
This is what I'm saying about like like this panic that they're trying to instill in the media and like the Trump administration and stuff. I mean, there's probably it looks like the 4 cops for every person out there, for every person that's throwing.
I mean,
a
yeah,
canister back
I
at
was
them.
curious to see what's behind.
Yo,
the
I
camera,
was
but
looking
don't
at her
see
views.
people back there.
She's
The only people
climbing.
there are filming.
She's climbing. Like last month, she was getting
Now,
20
there
every
might be-
night.
there
Now,
probably are other crowds
Now she's
nearby
getting
or whatever,
30 every
but
night.
In terms of like, you know, the chaos.
That's
going
progress.
on, it just feels very inflated.
Misrepresented.
Oh, there's protesters here? Oh, no, it's more police.
Just like why?
They're shooting rubber bullets. I'm
All right.
assuming.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look over the message
And tear
one more
gas.
time, then I'm gonna send it.
Alrighty.
I don't know what
So
she's
that's
gonna
what's
say.
going on there? The poor Waymos, man.
Blah 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 blah
These
blah blah
Waymo
blah blah
cars,
blah.
this
Yep.
This is
All right,
this is
send.
the most violent thing that happened. for
They've been
sure.
making big moves in LA. These
Yeah.
are driverless cars / taxis. They're taxis.
Yeah.
They have
Yeah, it's fun when you
Yo,
feel like
that
you're
that
right.
face, bruh. She
to
Because-
feel-
she is never having it with me. She is never up.
Okay, alright. Get in the weight room lobby. Let's go.
futuristic and cool.
It's futuristic. It's cool. There's
Oh, for real?
nobody in the driver's seat, so you can just attach to the aux without having to ask and like play it super loud. Talk about whatever you want.
Oh, that's kind of fun.
It is very fun.
Is the price good?
It's cheaper than
It's the
Uber.
cheapest.
Because there's nobody there.
Exactly.
I lost trust in him.
Alright, give
because
me
I
a
saw
second.
Clip of a guy that took one.
I gotta
and kept
join the
going in
Discord.
circles.
Oh no.
I'm sure
And to
there
do that, I
is-
gotta sign
gotta
into
say,
a
there's
web
lot
browser.
downtown, and
Yeah.
Very polite drivers.
True.
I've had that thought many times when I'm driving.
You can add me Foodshops. It's just Foodshops. Just like on YouTube.
Debate,
Or,
debate, debate.
server. Get in the weight room.
Driving near one, and I'm like, this is
Very
better than most
courteous.
of like the human drivers that are around.
I gotta
especially
admit,
downtown.
I cut them off sometimes. I'm like, oh, that's just
They'll
a
let you
Waymo.
in. That's part of it.
They
You, like,
really like
that's
you.
honestly part of it.
Bro.
When you're
No
driving
cares.
near one, you can like trust it to like drive defensively. So
Yep.
it's like you can just, oh, I need to sneak in there. Like, if
Yeah,
it's a
I gotta
yeah,
like
if you
sign
do that
in
to the
and
wrong
shit.
person,
My
like,
bad.
fucking get out of the car and shoot
Exactly.
you. With the
How
Waymo,
the
it
fuck
just,
do
like,
you man? How do you do this
Go right
shit?
ahead, buddy.
Yeah.
go to
How
work.
am I this
Yeah, so
inept
anyway,
with
that's what Waymo's,
technology?
They have a fleet, but
I don't know.
four
I don't
of
know
them
all the
seems like
Discord
got
menus. Hold on.
absolutely taken out,
They
man.
had to turn
Alright,
the
boom.
app off because
This
people
is-
were calling them downtown.
Apparently they were summoning them.
Oh,
Yeah, log
to
in.
their own, which honestly, there's like a
Funny.
weird
Pretty clever,
cruelty there.
actually.
I mean, it's clever.
Alright,
but
I
it's
think
like,
I made
so
it.
I was wondering, how did they
it
get
feels
four
extra
Waymos
mean to
lined
call
up?
them to their own death.
So they
They ordered
summoned them? Oh,
Yeah.
Oh.
that is clever. Why the Waymos?
It
What
said
did they
invalid
do?
invite.
I don't
just-
know.
It's the
I
same
think
reason
Why?
why I cut them off. They're
'Cause you
just
can.
like little
Dumb
freaking
robots.
dust balls or tumbleweeds.
Yeah.
You know, you can just do whatever with them. I feel
Yeah.
like people
Dan
think.
did make a good point earlier. He was like, the Waymo
I don't get it.
smoke that it probably gives off from like a car that
They won't let me join it,
Yeah,
chat.
these people,
Electric
I was
is
watching this and
probably-
all these people are just like gathered around and I'm like, bro, that smoke is just pure cancer into your
How?
lungs, basically.
Oh yeah, that's the good
Is
stuff.
that
I don't really want to
right?
send my Discord in
Yeah,
her
you- I mean,
chat.
a-
I
a
don't.
regular
I don't
car
want to do
burning
that.
is
Not
still
with these
putting out all kinds of
motherfuckers.
horrible stuff, but I feel like
Hell no, not with her
chemical shit
viewers.
in the battery that's burning here is not what you want.
It's funny.
You know, I saw
Take
footage.
a couple steps back.
I
At
saw,
least.
Invalid
I saw the,
invite.
The rubble this morning, and all the whale cars were like burned into ash. There was nothing left.
Yeah, that's.
I guess is that part of just like the battery?
I think that's part of it.
Is
and also
there
because I think
a
just the firefighters
more
weren't able to get
recent
in there to put 'em out.
invite
They didn't
link?
even attempt to.
But there was
It says the one on your channel
I pulled up a YouTube stream. I
is
was checking in on,
expired.
I
I will
You're
also
still in the server.
add you directly
Just like
if you want.
Here, you can just add me. Foodshops.
About the day just to. keep
Oh, it's
tabs
Food
on
Shops,
everything,
alright.
And they were still burning.
Alright,
They
I
were
got
just-
you,
everybody was
Food
just casually
Shops.
Walking around, and they were just burning
What
in
the
the
fuck is
background.
Add me
this?
directly.
Those poor Waymos.
All
man.
right. Damn.
Just
It looks,
Foodshops.
it looks cool.
Burning Waymos.
Yeah. It's like
Burning
a
Waymos.
sick image.
In the distance.
An Australian reporter
Food
got
shops.
rubber
Food
bulleted.
shops.
Seen this?
Yeah, this one. Wait, hold on. Actually, I wanted to.
Hey, boom.
I think it's fine. She's
think-
totally fine.
Oh,
In
I
the
didn't
clip,
know
she
about
goes,
that
"I'm fine,
command."
I'm fine.
Okay.
I don't think she got hurt. Or I don't
Well-
know if she got hit.
No,
because-
she did.
No, she got
She
it.
definitely got
Alright,
it.
boom.
Oh, because I.
Try to turn up.
Yeah.
Can I turn up the quality? It's like super crunch.
On horseback, firing rubber bullets at protesters, moving them on.
And
to the
here I
heart
am.
of LA.
Why did you do that?
You see him aim
You see-
for
Why
it.
did you do that?
He's just like slowly.
Why did
trip.
you do that, bro? Why would? What the fuck's wrong with you, man? This
Really?
idiot here.
You really have to think about the types of people who want this type of power and want that job.
Why did you do that? You could at least shoot like at the ground over their heads and just
I'll be right back, chat.
Yeah.
shoot some poor reporter lady.
Like just
Hello. Hello. Oh my god. Okay, alright, I'm gonna go to the bathroom. You can say whatever you want. Good luck.
That she does not say it all the time. I miss the old Kanye. Yo, me too. He was based. He used to be so based back in the day. Remember when he said George Bush doesn't care about black people? Do you have a black KKK hood? Oh, a black KKK hood? No, I do not. What the fuck? Kanye buns? That is objectively incorrect. I would debate you about that. He made Graduation! Not a true Ye fan? Look, I like College Dropout. I like Late Registration. Graduation is a little overrated. Okay, it's good. It's a really good album. I wish that he had released Good Ass Job. I think that could have been a good album based off of the like the snippets and the re-releases that he's put out. But apparently that was supposed to be his retirement album. I don't know. She tends to use her womanly wiles to charm others. I hope so. She's gonna need some charm to win against me, the master debater. Guys, remember 5 years ago when people said Drake was the best rapper? I don't remember anybody saying that shit. I don't remember that. Okay. Hey, wait. Are y'all team Drake or team Kendrick? What do we got in chat? Say Drake if you're team Drake. Say Kendrick if you're team Kendrick. Yeah, lame. I'm team Drake all the way, me personally. I'm just kidding. I don't really like either of them. It's been a year, man. Let it go. My perception of time is gone. I don't know what. I don't even know what day it is. Hey, Foodshops. Nice to meet you. My name is Jacob. How are you doing?
Okay, what was it I disagree with? Go.
Oh, so, okay, you want me to choose the topic. That's fine. I would like to talk about Hassan, because I'm Hassan's biggest fan. I'm a big Hassan fan, big Hassan meat writer. Okay?
Okay.
And I don't think that he is a supporter of terrorism. I don't think that he's a terrorist supporter.
Okay, are you trolling or are you not trolling?
I'm not trolling at all, no. I legitimately don't think that he supports terrorism, not even a little bit. And I think that you do think that, so I would like to hear your perspective on it, and, you know, I'd like for you to hear mine, and maybe you'll come to a different conclusion.
Okay, do you consider Houthis to be terrorists?
Yeah, I would consider them to be a terrorist organization. First of all, our country that says that they're terrorists, but also they do terrorism. They do terrorist things.
Okay. Is it true that when Hassan interviewed that one Houthi kid, that the one Houthi kid said that this person was a Houthi, that he was a Houthi at the time?
I believe
and Hassan claimed that.
I believe he claimed to be a Houthi, yeah. Now, looking back on it, it's kind of unlikely that he was actually a Houthi. But even if he was, I don't think it's a terrible thing to interview him. To ask him questions.
Sure. Do you think that softball interviews exist to make people look good?
Sure. Yeah, like Glaze interviews. Yeah, I haven't specifically heard the term softball interview, but yeah.
Okay. Do you think that saying somebody looks like Luffy and then freaking out and then like jumping like a maniac and then, you know, just kind of shouting and screaming when he mentions that there is a KFC in Yemen, do you think that is a little bit glazy of Hassan to do for a Houthi kid?
I think that the point... First of all, I personally don't think that the kid is actually a Houthi. So to call him a Houthi is like kind of inaccurate. Right, his name is Al-Haddad, which probably means that he's not a Houthi.
Okay, is it a bit glazy? Yes or no question?
I look back at the interview and I don't think it was pure glaze. No, I think he did ask him questions that were a little silly to humanize him. But he asked him about hostages. I wouldn't say he asked him like super difficult questions, but also this is a 19-year-old from the most poorly educated country on the planet.
Okay. Do you think when Hassan... Okay, well, we disagree on that then. We disagree on whether or not it was glazing. Okay, because as far as I'm concerned, the way that Hassan was talking to this kid, like he was saying, oh yeah, do you watch One Piece? You remind me of Luffy. And then, like, when you compare somebody with Luffy, it's typically a compliment, right? And then he also asked the questions about the hostages, sure. But, like, in my opinion, it wasn't challenging to the point where he's, like, forcing him to concede an answer or something, right? So, it just seems as if it was, like, a very softball interview. And anybody from the outside can see it was a really softball interview, no?
Yeah, well, asking questions about the Houthis, like asking about the hostages specifically, is not ever going to be a hardball question, no matter how you phrase it, because the Houthis, they haven't really, to my knowledge, killed any hostages. Like, they haven't been as brutal to hostages.
That's not true. You can still ask questions about like challenging topics, but you can phrase it in a way that is ultimately catering towards the interviewee, right?
Yeah, sure. Okay, but the fact remains that the hostages that the Houthis have captured, none of them have been brutalized. Like, they released those hostages, the ones that that were referenced in the interview. From the video where they
wait,
took
hold
over
on.
the ship.
Do you see? Hold on. Do you see nothing wrong with raiding a ship and then taking hostages in the first place?
Yes. Now that's important. Okay. Obviously, kidnapping people is wrong. Okay. Now releasing them is good. Okay, but kidnapping them in the first place, bad. I don't agree with that. I don't think that should be seen as acceptable. And I don't think Hassan...
I don't know. So I don't know. Hold on. So to be fair, okay, then I don't know why you're talking about brutalizing them. Because as far as I'm concerned, once you kidnap somebody, hold them at gunpoint, you can easily make an argument and say, like, yeah, they have, like, an act of violence has been conducted against somebody who is kidnapped, no? At gunpoint?
Yeah. Well, like I said, it's a terrible thing to kidnap somebody, but they did not murder them, is what I'm saying. Like, it's not the same as like what Hamas does to their hostages.
Hold on, but that's a really low bar you're setting for them, right? Like, you're basically saying, yeah, as long as you don't rape and kill them, then anything passes, right? According to your tone.
Like I said, I don't think that it's acceptable to kidnap people. I think that putting a gun in someone's face and kidnapping them is wrong. It is not what you should do. But I also ask you, why do the Houthis do this? Why do they kidnap people? Why do they invade ships?
They want the supplies.
Yeah. Well, the supplies that are going to an apartheid state.
No, the Galaxy cruiser was on its way to Turkey. Okay, it's not actually going to Israel, right? It was like a journey from one unrelated country to another unrelated country. None of it was going to Israel, so I don't know why you're saying this.
You're right. I think I actually did. I did already know that. My bad. But
then why'd you say otherwise?
Well, they weren't going to Israel. You're right, but they were the ship was owned by an Israeli person. It was like an Israeli company that was shipping these supplies, and the Houthis do not have the knowledge of where it's going. To my knowledge, it is.
No, that's not correct. It's not. No. Okay. All right. You want to do some? Let's do some minor fact checking. Okay. Galaxy cruiser. Do you remember what it's called? The Galaxy Explorer cruiser, whatever it's called.
I actually don't. I'll see if I can find it myself.
Okay. Wait, Galaxy hostages company. Galaxy Leader. Okay, it's by Ray Car Carriers. Ray Car Carriers owner. The company is based in the Isle of Man. That's not Israel.
Yeah, the Isle of Man is yeah, but who owns the company though? Is what I'm asking. The Isle of Man is God, where is that?
Oh, it is owned by Israeli businessmen, sure.
Yeah,
Abraham
so
Remy Unger.
Yeah, they target Israeli-owned businesses, and again, like
do you think they did this research before they targeted the Galaxy leader?
Yeah, I don't think it's a coincidence. Look,
no.
Yes, look, the Houthis, they have a clear message. They say, death to America, death to Jews. Okay, again, I don't like condone that. Okay, but yeah, when they're targeting an Israeli, a curse upon the Jews,
not death.
Yeah. Okay. You're right. I think that I misspoke. Okay, it's their slogan. Okay, they say curse upon the Jews. Yeah, I think that they did their research. I think that they knew that it was owned by an Israeli business person. This is publicly available knowledge.
How is that supposed to help? How is that supposed to help Gazans?
Do you know about the Warsaw Uprising?
Partly, sure.
So, I'll quickly and concisely talk about what the Warsaw Uprising was. In Nazi Germany, there was a ghetto. It was called Warsaw.
Okay. Wait, okay. I know what the Warsaw.
You know where I'm going.
Yes,
with this.
I know what the. Yeah, okay. No, I don't. Make a connection for me. Yes.
Okay, so look, what the Warsaw Jews did is they destroyed supply lines. They hijacked vehicles. Okay, not freighters, but like trucks containing materials that were going to, German grocers, Nazi German grocers. They were going to the German military, the Nazi military, I mean. And
you realize your analogy here doesn't work, right? Because you're talking about somebody within a ghetto who is doing an uprising. Meanwhile, this is Houthis, a different group that is completely unrelated to the Gazans, that are taking advantage of the conflict to be opportunists. And
they're not unrelated to Gazans.
They're not Gazan. They're Yemenis.
I know. Gazans. I know that they're in Yemen. I know that. Okay, I'm saying that Israel is a country.
It's not like they're doing an act of self-defense, right? Because when you're talking about the Warsaw Ghetto uprising, you're talking about an act of like almost group self-defense, right?
Yeah,
this is not an act of group self-defense. They steal from the Yemenis people themselves. They steal international aid.
I would call it self-defense. Actually, I think that the Yemenis people see themselves as very similar to Gazans. They're in a similar situation where this country, Israel, is rapidly taking...
Hold on. When you're talking about Yemenis people, are you talking about the Houthis, or are you talking about people who are not just the Houthis?
I think that the Houthis have a lot of support from Yemenis people. I could be wrong about that. I'm speculating about the population, but generally, Yemenis people do not like Israel.
The Houthis steal... Hold on. The Houthis... If they were just targeting Israeli freighters, maybe, but the Houthis don't just target Israeli freighters. They target everybody, okay? Including from their own people. They steal supplies from their own people. That's why they're starving. Okay, do you understand?
I hear you, yeah. Yeah, I don't think what Yemenis people mainly have to worry about is Houthis stealing their food. I think that what they mainly have to worry about is our country dropping bombs on them for the last 20 years, which is why Hassan interviewed that kid in the first place, because he's a 19-year-old from Yemen.
You mean, hold on. You mean Saudi Arabia dropping bombs, right?
Yeah. Saudi Arabia is certainly offensive to Yemenis people.
All right.
It's not just Saudi. Are you saying that we haven't dropped any bombs on them? Is that what you're saying?
Hold on. Has the Warsaw Ghetto Jews stolen food and supplies from other Jews in the Warsaw Ghetto and made them starve because of it?
To my knowledge, no, but they did kill and
so that's another aspect that you made equivalent, right? That makes no sense.
There
right?
is an equivalence. Just because it's not a perfect match does not mean it's not equivalent. Like, yeah, I can
No,
make
this
comparisons
isn't just a
between
perfect
the two.
match. This is a massive mismatch. Okay, like this
Oh,
isn't just
okay.
like because once again, if we're just talking about the self-defense thing, we're talking about a group that is acting in self-defense for survival. Because
I
they were
think,
about to get shipped off to death camps anyway,
mhm.
right? But about the Yemenis people, if they didn't do any of their actions, it's not like they would have been shipped on death trains to be executed, right? They are in power of their land of Yemen. No.
Yeah, if they don't resist the apartheid, they'll just be bombed for eternity by Israel for the punishment of standing with Gazans and like trying to protect Gazans because they
What?
see them as
Wait, did you say that? Wait, did you say the
Mhm.
Yemen people are going to be bombed by Israel for standing in? Like, what are you talking about at this point? Like, are you like? By the
I
way, when
think
you're talking about a
Israel
group of
mhm.
people, are you talking about Gazans or are you talking about Yemenis people?
I just a second ago I was talking about Yemenis people. I think that they see
Okay.
Israel as a threat to the stability of the region
Mhm.
of the Middle East. Yeah, I think that they see Israel as their enemy, and rightly so. It's an apartheid regime that's doing a genocide on the indigenous population of the area. And
Okay,
in
I promise
indigenous
you that the
Mhm.
Houthis' larger enemy is Saudi Arabia by far. Okay, it isn't even close.
I think that Saudi Arabia has a lot of
Like
enemies in the area.
Israel isn't even close to being the #1 priority for the Houthis at all. Like the Houthis' #1 priority is like other Muslims that they're killing. Okay, like so I don't know why
Okay.
you're saying this.
And what's your evidence of this? Is that they're stealing food from Yemenis people? They want to
Yeah,
kill
sure. The
Yemenis
entire
people. They want
yeah,
to kill
dude,
Saudi Arabians.
yeah, sure. You can Google this right now. It's the entire Yemenis war. Yeah, the entire Yemenis war is part of it, right? It's just Muslims killing other Muslims. Yeah, that's what it is.
I'll look into it. But let me
This
ask you
is
this.
literally basic information. Yeah, go ahead. Mhm.
I don't know about basic, but all right. But
It
I'll
literally
concede to that.
is. Like this is the whole basis of the Houthis. The entire point is that the Houthis is the major contributor to the Yemenis war, the source of strife and suffering that the current Yemenis people are under. Yeah.
All right. Well, anyway, back to the original point of
Okay.
contention, which is whether or not Hassan supports the Houthis, whether or not he says that like he loves terrorism, he loves that they do terrorism. Does he say that? I don't think so, and I think it's like kind of harmful to say that he does.
Doesn't he play like music video propaganda videos of them on stream?
He did play one music video, yeah, and he said
Okay,
they were
do you think
musical
he
people.
presents do you think he presents the music videos in a positive light or a negative light? And to be do you admit that they're propaganda videos?
Do I admit that they're propaganda videos?
Sure,
Um,
yeah.
I think
The
that
one with like hard step, the one with the hard step Middle Eastern beats, all right, chill hop and beats, right? Going like I boom 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 boom, right? Are they do you think they're propaganda videos?
no, I don't really think that they necessarily are. I think that they're propaganda videos in the same way that our music in America is like propaganda, which it's really not. It's just music that the people listen to. Like I know that they had guns. I know that they're scary in the video. Okay, they have guns in the video. It's so scary. But to say that is propaganda when our music videos in our country where people have guns is not is I think you can see the equivalent that I'm drawing there. It's the same thing.
No,
They have guns
no,
there.
it's not. It's really not. No, because here's the equivalent. Okay, is if the United States was taken over by a terrorist militia, like a White Lives Matter militia, and then the White Lives Matter militia decided to create several videos where specifically the videos are like pro KKK, like a KKK rapper holding a gun and shooting at the sky, and then having hard step like country music with the banjo playing in the background. That would be the equivalent, okay? But what you're saying is not the equivalent because you're not talking about about something, you're probably thinking of like some, I don't know, like fucking drill music or something, like murder rap or some shit, you know? But like that's not the same whatsoever in any like sense of the word. So I don't know why you're saying this.
I didn't
Like,
say
what a
I
ridiculous
didn't say it was the
motherfucker.
same thing. I can like draw comparisons between the two. Okay? And no, I still don't think it's propaganda because like it's just music where they're singing and they have guns in the video in a country where 90% of the population has guns because they're all very uneducated as a result of a lack of social safety nets, as a result of constant American intervention in their global
Okay,
trading.
do you know who Charlie Kirk is?
Yeah, of course.
Do you consider Turning Point USA videos to be propaganda videos?
Sure. Of course.
Okay, so you're dishonest. Do you know why? Because literally all the Houthi videos and all the like Hezbollah video, whatever the fuck I'm talking about, where Hassan was showing them on stream, they're way more propagandistic or on the same level as like Turning Point USA propaganda videos, 100%. All right. At least Turning Point USA has the decency to like, I don't know, cringe music in the background like that. Okay, maybe they do put cringe music, but they don't like make they don't make like kids bop Middle East version, right? Like fuck.
Can I hit you with like something that I've been thinking about recently? It's the idea that
no, you're not allowed to hit
okay,
me
my
with
bad,
that.
my bad.
No.
I'll shut up. Okay, I think
go ahead.
I thought so. So I think that like there's a time and a place for right wing propaganda, right wing like government, you know, and it is when like imagine that aliens come down from the sky and they take over the United States. Who would you rally behind? Like who would you get behind? Who would you join forces with? It would probably be, I'll tell you what I would do, it would be the Republicans, okay? It'd be the conservatives. It'd be the white nationalists, okay? Unironically, I would stand with them because they're crazy motherfuckers with guns. So in the same way, you can look at Yemen like, yes, this like right-wing, this evil right-wing propaganda, okay, I don't really think it's super propaganda, maybe a little bit, but like this right-wing propaganda is more understandable in a country like Yemen that is constantly being bombed and is also under threat by an occupying force, Israel.
The Houthis are grifters. They are literally using the Israeli war with Gazans and with Hamas as an excuse to rob supplies and kill more people. That's what they are using the conflict for. We're not talking about a necessary evil. You're talking about a necessary evil. This is not a necessary evil, okay? The Houthis are grifters. They're war grifters. That's what they are. Does that make sense? War grifters are not necessary evil because they're not even being productive in the first place.
If they are robbing Israelis, if they are robbing Israeli citizens that own businesses, then I think that what they're doing is righteous.
They're not even doing. They're literally not even doing that.
That's what you said. That's what you said. But then we looked it up. And it's from the Isle of Man. This company is in the Isle of Man. Oh wait, it's actually owned by.
So what?
Oh, but it's actually owned by an Israeli guy. It's owned by an Israeli person, an Israeli citizen.
Yeah. So what? Like literally. Okay. So the freighter that they specifically captured, the sending to and the destination had nothing to do with Israel. None of the crew members on the Galaxy Leader were Israeli, right? And you're telling me, oh, just because the business owner is a partial owner of, the company and he is Israeli, oh, now we can justify doing horrendous shit and violent acts? You don't even defend the kidnapping. So I don't know why you're defending this point.
I am defending them stealing from Israelis. That's all I'm defending. I won't defend kidnapping. I will not defend kidnapping. I think it's wrong. Okay, you want me to say it? I condemn it. Okay, I condemn them. They're not resisting in the way that I
that doesn't
would
mean
perfectly
anything.
like them
You
to.
defend it. you condemn it, yet you defend it at the same time. So it's like
Yes,
pick
yes,
your
I
side.
defend people
You know.
that are resisting a genocide, people that are resisting a genocidal regime.
Yeah, you're trying to have your cake and eat it too, right?
I don't think
It's
so. I
it's
think I'm
all
remaining pretty consistent here, but I would love to hear what you think about the
yeah.
genocide
You're
because
okay. You're being consistent in one thing, and that is human suffering. Okay, because you support the Houthis who love human suffering. You probably support Hamas, if I were to guess, and who is 100% human suffering. Okay, you
I
support
know you want me to
Hassan, who
condemn them.
promotes
You want me
human
to condemn
suffering
them.
on his stream.
Mhm.
No, your condemnations mean nothing. So I don't want you to condemn jack shit.
Okay, I
Okay, I'm
won't.
just saying your condemnations don't match up with the things that you're saying. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, that does
Don't
make sense.
me.
I think
All
that
right, like actually repeat back to me what I just said. Like Jesus, do you even understand what I just said?
Yes, I do understand what you're saying. I do.
Okay.
Okay, you said that
Yeah. This is why Hassan fans are so frustrating. Yeah. Go ahead.
because we do not condemn the organization that is
No,
resisting.
like I said, your condemnations mean
apartheid.
nothing. Like, didn't I say this before? Do you know how to hear the words I'm talking right now?
Mm-hmm.
I literally say your condemnations mean nothing. Okay, so I don't know why you're repeating this.
Okay. Well, I remember when I first came into your chat.
Yeah.
I remember. Well, we can keep talking about.
Well, you came in rather rude. Well, you
You're
came in
right.
rather rude, so that's why I'm being rude to you right now. It's not like I don't have you're not entitled to my kindness because you went into my chat feeling like you're entitled to a debate. So here I am giving you a debate. So here you go.
I did not feel entitled to it. I gave you plenty of opportunity.
You absolutely felt entitled.
No,
okay.
I do not. I don't. You could have said no. You could have said no. I don't want you to debate. I don't want to do that, and I would have respected that. But you didn't do that. So here we are. You could have said that at any point. Okay, but it's fine. Like, if you don't want to debate, we don't have to. You can leave the...
Didn't you?
Call.
Okay, did you or did you not come into my chat at multiple instances through separate occurrences asking for a debate in which I turned you down almost every time, except for this most recent time? So did I do that or did I not do that?
This most recent time was directly following one of your viewers coming to my channel and leaving a comment saying that you were interested.
Okay, so if I were to pull up your chat logs, right, from the past, do you think that you had a tone of like entitlement, or do you think you didn't have a tone of entitlement?
A tone of entitlement. I would say that.
Yeah, I can pull it up right now, but like, do you like if you were to guess, right?
I would say that I had no like expectation of you 100% debating me. Okay, that was not something that I like felt like you had to give me. Now, if I made you feel that way, I apologize. I think that that's like unacceptable. I agree with that. And sometimes I do say things and I'm a little careless with my words. Okay, it is the internet. It happens. I apologize if I did that. I did not mean to make you feel that way. And I hope that you aren't just doing this debate right now because you feel like I like absolutely just cornered you and pushed you into it. I don't want to do that. I didn't like I want this to be.
Bro, you weren't cornering into me, jack shit, dude. You were like in the chat and you just simply asked and I said yes, that's it.
Yeah,
right?
that's what I'm saying.
Not
so
anything
it's not
complicated.
That, okay, so then I'm not entitled. All I did was come into your chat and say, hey, like, you know, I heard you saying these things. I don't agree with them. I would be happy to talk to you about them. That's all I said, basically. I mean, I said more than that, but yeah, if you want to pull up the chat logs, you can. But I do have, I can move this debate along, and I have another topic which is related to what we're talking about, and that is when I first came into your chat, I remember I asked you because I had just watched one of your videos and I saw you were live, and I wasn't really sure on your perspective on this yet, so I asked you, do you believe a genocide is happening in Gaza? And you said no. So do you still believe that? Is that still something that you believe?
What is your criteria for genocide?
A genocide is an intentional ethnic cleansing. It is, it's like taking a group of people, usually indigenous to the area, not necessarily, but, taking them, it can start off a number of ways, but, like, basically, you just, like, take them and get the consent of the public and then, kill them. Kill them in mass killing. By any means necessary. We could look up the definition of genocide if...
No, I know the definition for genocide, okay? But you have to provide the proof that genocide is happening. I can't prove a not, if that makes sense.
Okay. So you want proof that it's a genocide, I get that. I think that the proof is pretty obvious. However, I understand that it is like there's like a lot of opinions.
Just name several.
There's a lot of excuses.
Just go. Just name several.
Oh, okay, yeah. So it all started in 1947 with the Nakba. And the Nakba was an expulsion of people from their homes that were indigenous to the area. And what happened was my understanding, and I'm not like an expert in this, okay, yada yada, I'm not an expert. But basically, this group formed, and it was the Israeli project was started by our country and the United Kingdom. Individual investors from those countries sent people here. They formed a group called Mossad, okay, which continued to exist for a long time, way into the apartheid. Okay, but Mossad was a group that went and expelled people from their homes. And then they would place occupiers in those homes. And that is how the Israeli nation formed. That is the beginning. Okay, so it started with removing indigenous people from their homes, telling them to go somewhere else. And we can also talk about the, like, unfathomable, brutal things that Mossad did to people. They tried to force a guy to throw his son into an oven. And then when he didn't, they threw his son into the oven anyway, and then they threw him in with it. And the reason that they did that, and the reason that they did all of these brutal things, was to scare people, so that they didn't have to remove them from their homes. They wanted them to just leave anyway and go to the next village over. And after decades and decades of this occupation, we arrived where we are today. Okay, now there was a war. It was called the 7-Day War, where Israel took a majority of the land that they have now, and they have pushed Palestinians into a tiny corner of the map, and they formed an open-air prison, and that's what Gaza is. Okay, and what they do is they just drop bombs on them. Okay, they just blow them up. And they're like, oh, Hamas is hiding behind civilians. They are hiding behind civilians. Hamas, they are civilians. They are literally civil. They are militants. They are terrorists. They are in a terrorist group. And they are also, like, among the civilian population. Okay, so when you bomb Hamas, you are bombing innocent people as well. I understand that Hamas.
You're not answering my. You're not answering my question. You're
What's
not
the
providing
question?
any proof. I asked you to provide proof of genocide.
So
for example, what I'm specifically looking for. Oh, hold on. I'll let you speak this entire time. Let me speak now. Okay. So
I'm listening.
So here's the thing, okay? So for example, in the Bosnian genocide, all right, there's going to be tractors like placed there months beforehand, before the mass shootings, not the mass shootings, the mass executions even happened, because they were planning to have it out. The Serbs, all right, literally had a decree. I think it was like Article 5 or something, where they basically said, we're going to turn Srebrenica into like a place of like unconditional fear or whatever, right? Usually these genocides, all right, play out over the course of months to years, okay? But it never ever, almost never plays out for more than a decade, okay? You went all the way back to 1948, which is the Nakba, or 1950s or whatever, which is the Nakba. However, man, the Israelis must be really fucking shit at doing genocide. genocide then, because it's been more than it's the 21st century now, and the Gazans are still not genocided. None of the Palestinians are genocided. Okay, and so they must be really shit at doing genocide. Okay, like I don't know what to tell you. Like, you went all the way back there, and yeah, there you go. Like, fuck. Like, yeah, like
I wouldn't say that they are shit at doing genocide, but you're right. It is unusual for something like this to go on this long.
I'm sorry, it just matches almost no symptom of actual genocide. Like, I'm sorry, it just doesn't, unless you can provide proper proof for this.
My proof is that you have a group of people that have been pushed into a small location, a densely populated location, and they are being systematically murdered. That is genocide, and that is what's happening in Gaza. Now, I understand that it hasn't been going on, like they haven't been constantly
they must
murdering
be well, they must
for
be really
decades.
shit. Well, they must be really shit at it, right? Because
no,
remember,
it has taken.
Okay, do you? Okay, hold on.
Okay,
Do you remember what Israel? Do you remember what Israel said? Like, do you know what Israel did before the bombings happened? They prepared leaflets and they prepared messages to Palestinians to move ASAP, like more than 1 million Palestinians
so nice
to move out of the area that they were going to occupy. Yeah, it's not corresponding with what you claim to be a genocide. It can't be a genocide if you're warning people to move before you start bombing a place.
Okay,
it can't be. By definition.
I understand that was demeaning.
I don't know what to tell you.
I apologize. You're right. I shouldn't have said it like that. The reason I said, and I was like doing that is because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they hand out leaflets. It doesn't matter if the people know that the bombs are coming generally in advance, because there's no protection for them. There is no infrastructure. There are no bomb shelters. And the reason there are no bomb shelters is because there are no sirens. Because the bombs only take like 40 seconds for them to reach their destination. Okay, 1 second you're standing there, and the next second you are red mist. That's what happens. And anyway, I know that Palestinians have not been constantly murdered over the course of the Israeli state existing.
Okay. I'm gonna repeat this again. Okay, I'm gonna repeat this again. Israel warns an area before they strike, like in the 1 million moving thing.
How much advance
they gave them? Wasn't it 24 hours or something?
Okay. So if you
it wasn't.
Okay.
Let's run with this. Hold on. The way you're describing it is that you're saying it's like seconds or something. That's the way you're describing it. This is not seconds. 24 hours is not seconds.
Yes, that is the way I'm describing it. And the reason why is because just because you know that bombs are coming 24 hours from now doesn't mean that you know when they're going to come within that allotted time period. And there are no sirens.
Yes, you do. It's 24 hours. No, you do. It's 24 hours.
Okay.
They give you 24 hours.
So by handing out pamphlets, suddenly the Gazans, they have a crystal ball, and they now know exactly when and where the bombs are going to land. They know where they're going to land, and
that's what the leaflet said. It's 24 hours. Yes. You're acting as if like Israel didn't even warn them beforehand or something, but it literally is 24 hours. I don't know why you're like going against the reality that you just admitted to. You literally admitted yourself that you accept this fact, and now you're going against your own statement.
I accept that
why
they
the fuck
did
are
it
you contradicting yourself?
I just don't think that the pamphlets are that useful, is what I'm arguing. I'm saying that they handed out pamphlets once or twice.
Okay. Do you
or
know
whatever,
why they're
however
not?
many
Do you know why
times.
they're not that
They don't
useful?
do it every time.
Hold on. Do you know why they're not useful?
Because of Hamas. Because Hamas is evil. Because they didn't build bomb shelters or something. That's what you're gonna say. Let's hear it.
No, because Hamas is telling people to ignore the pamphlets because they are trying to convince people that it's Israeli propaganda to try to get them to move from the location. When in reality, Israel was telling the truth the entire time.
They have nowhere
and
to
they
go.
were
Move
actually
from the
warning them
location.
beforehand.
They have nowhere to go.
I think it was like moving south. No.
It is an open air prison.
Parts of Gaza. What are you talking about?
There is nowhere safe in Gaza. There really aren't many places safe in Israel.
It was Gaza divided into two regions. Okay, they want
the north and the
they
south.
Want people to move from region 1 to region 2.
Yeah,
okay,
the north
1
is
to
gone.
2. Okay, it doesn't matter. All right. They warn people beforehand. Remember, the original question was about whether or
They
not
want
they
them
warn people
closer
beforehand,
together.
and this is as evidence.
So they can
Okay.
bomb them and kill them more effectively. That's what I think. I think
Don't you think it's more effective
unironically.
to bomb somebody if you don't warn them? Like, if you never warned them, like, don't you think it's more effective to kill a bunch of people?
No, not necessarily. I think that if you were to say like, we're gonna bomb
Okay,
you
nobody
in the
agrees with
north,
you. Literally
and then,
nobody
and
agrees
then
with
they
you.
move south,
Nobody
and then
agrees
we
with you.
bomb the south.
Mhm.
Okay, nobody agrees with me. I know nobody fucking agrees with me. We live in America. Nobody fucking agrees with me. This is the most pro-Israel country on the fucking planet. I know what I'm up against.
No, Israel is the most pro-Israel country on the planet. Okay, it doesn't matter. Okay, the point is that you're so bad faith. That's why. Okay, like I don't even know why you're like on this point as like a symptom of genocide. Like the fact that we're even like the fact that we're even debating this much about this one particular point shows that you don't have a grasp on how to support the fact that you can validate a genocide existing.
I feel
right?
like I've been
Like,
nothing but
because-
charitable to you about this. I don't see how I've been
Yeah, and me
uncharitable.
too, right? Because every single point that you have given is complete bullshit. Like I have given you your chance to monologue about the Nakba and whatever, right? But man, they must be really bad at genocide if they spent like over like 50 years or 60 years to complete a genocide, and even then there's still millions of Palestinians. There's even Palestinians living in Israel. Like I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about.
And how
Don't you
old
think
are
a
they?
genocide should be hold on. Don't you think a genocide should be like Israel rounding up Palestinians inside of Israel to silently kill them?
I think that's what they've done. That's
No,
how is
that's
that
not what
even
happened.
deniable?
Oh my god.
Gaza is the most
There are
densely populated
Palestinians
area on
living
the fucking
today-
planet.
No.
Of course they're
There are
packed in there like
Palestinians living
sardines.
today peacefully in Israel. There are
I know,
Palestinians
I'm aware.
living peacefully in Israel today.
And they say don't go to the Arab quarters. I know.
You're aware of something that you just contradicted yourself on like a while ago, because you said that Palestinians are currently being secretly killed in Israel, and then now you just said that you're
Secret.
aware of them living peacefully in Israel. This is not. Yes, that's what you
not a
admitted to. I
contradiction.
said that. So I said specifically, yeah, you think that Palestinians are secretly being killed in Israel, and you said
Not
yes,
secretly.
and now you say that they're being peacefully. Okay, all right, just can you just please be consistent on one thing? This is like really frustrating.
I am consistent. I don't see how that contradicts what I said.
We
Yes,
can't
there are
debate- we
Palestinians
can't
in
debate on
mainland
stuff when
Israel. I'm aware.
There's
The most
My bad. I'm doing something.
the most densely populated place of the earth is Giza, not Gaza.
My bad. Yeah, it's one of the most. Sorry, that was my roommate. He came in to correct me. And he's right about that. It is, yeah. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I apologize.
okay. So you essentially proven nothing, right?
I wouldn't say that. I understand that Palestinians live in Israel. They live in mainland Israel, like outside of Gaza and outside of the West Bank. That's not a contradiction to what I said. They are still systematically pushed into a part of Israel, into Gaza, into the West Bank, so that they can be bombed, so that they're all closer together, so that they can be bombed. That's what I believe is going on. And they have been successful in the genocide. I'm not saying that it's over yet. It's not completely over. But they have killed a majority of the population. The average age in Gaza is, I believe, 15 right now, because they killed all of the adults. They're all dead. Okay, and yeah, Hamas is still there, and they're going to continue to be there as long as Israel keeps dropping bombs. There's going to be a resistance against that. Don't forget that Hamas was originally a democratically fair, and they were democratically elected in a fair and free election. And why did the Palestinians elect Hamas? Because they were being brutalized by the Israeli regime, way back in 2006. Way back, even back then, it was bad. It wasn't as bad as it is now, of course.
Was there any election after the first election of Hamas?
No, I know they took over. I know They did not allow any more elections.
What
They
did
are
they
fascist.
what did they do with the political? Okay, there you go. All right, they like quote unquote took care of the political opposition by killing them and torturing them until they
Yes.
stopped. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree
Okay.
with it. Those
So
are facts. Yeah.
why is that a good thing? I guess I don't
not.
know. Like, why are you trying to? So why are you bringing this up? Like, why the fuck are you bringing this up in the first place?
Because my point is that number one, there is a genocide.
You're defending
happening.
Hamas. I just want to be. I just want to clarify.
I'm
You were
not.
defending Hamas. Okay.
I'm
You were literally.
contextualizing
You were like,
their
oh.
choices.
Okay.
Just
you,
like
you literally you mentioned Hamas being democratically elected without mentioning explicitly that they prevented the holding of further elections afterwards. That to me is defending Hamas. Do you understand?
Yeah, I understand. I don't agree.
Because they prevent the will of the people from even getting a chance to speak on whether or not they want Hamas out or not, because they seized power and they prevented any other peaceful transfers of power afterwards. Do you understand that part?
Yes, and actually, you're right. I have not spent enough time.
So I don't know why. Okay.
I haven't spent enough time. I haven't spent enough time adequately like condemning Hamas, and it's important to condemn Hamas. I know that it's like a meme, okay? I know it's a meme, but it is important, and I do not.
No, I'm not asking you to condemn
do.
Hamas.
Yeah, well, they're fascists. They prevented further elections. They torture people. They kill people. They kill civilians.
No. We're not even there at moral. Hold on. We're not even there at moral judgments yet. Okay, because we haven't even established the facts, right? We don't even have a consistent set of facts here, right? So hold on. So I have a question to ask you. Which intifada did Hamas establish itself? You have 5 seconds.
It was the
the
second intifada.
3, 4. Okay, at least you got that part correct. Okay, how long did Hamas spend as a charity group?
I want to say like 3 years, maybe.
No, it was a week or something. It was much shorter than that. Let me see.
My bad.
How long?
All I was saying is that
Let me double check myself.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
You might be right. Who knows? Let me see.
No, I think you are right. It was much shorter than several years.
Yeah, there's no shot it's 3 years. That's insane. Okay. All right. So you don't even have the facts correct. Why the fuck are you even here? Like, you don't even have the facts.
I said
like, so
that
confused.
I'm not an expert in the like history of Israel. Okay, I have a rough understanding of it.
Hold on. Don't you think this is important? Don't you think this is important in determining whether or not Israel is conducting a genocide on Gaza?
Nope, not even a little bit. I don't really think that the history.
But you don't even have the basic facts. Like I'm bringing up like stuff that is relevant to whether or not you should define something as a genocide, right?
I look at what
Like,
the
all these are
situation
relevant.
is right now, and I conclude that it's a genocide. And if you want to
but
contextualize
even
it
then
with
it doesn't
history,
match up.
that's why I was talking about the history of Israel, what I know about the history of Israel. Okay, I was trying to contextualize the current genocide that's happening to establish
I don't know why you're saying
happened.
contextualize. Hold on. I don't know why you're saying contextualize when it's very clear you're trying to make Hamas look better by saying that they're democratically elected. So I don't know why you're saying contextualize.
It's not that simple. It's not as simple as me making them look better, okay? I don't just want to, like, glaze Hamas and, like, oh, I just love Hamas and everything that they do is so awesome and just.
Yeah, no one's saying that. Yeah, no shit. Okay, there's more than one way to, defend a group without glazing them, of course.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So what I'm saying is that if you consider it making Hamas look better to say, like, well, Hamas is resisting a genocide, which they are, then fine. I'm, like, making them look better. But I don't really think I am, because at the end of the day, they're still doing things that are awful, that are human atrocities. They're killing people, they're killing civilians, they're kidnapping them, torturing, rape, whatever. They're doing all of those awful things. And I understand that. I just also recognize that they are doing this to resist an apartheid state, a genocidal regime. A genocidal regime. That's it.
Is Hamas genocidal?
Honestly, No, I don't think they are. You asked me if they're genocidal. First of all, they're not doing a genocide. And second of all, I don't think that if Palestinians
no,
were free...
I didn't say they were doing genocide.
Mhm.
I'm saying,
I
is
know.
Hamas genocidal?
Do they want to
like
do a genocide?
their ideology
Yeah.
is rooted in it.
Yeah.
So they're genocidal. So they're genocidal, right? Because you say Hamas wants to do a genocide, so they're genocidal. That's what it means, right?
Sure. Yeah, they're genocidal. I don't think that they have the capabilities of doing a genocide ever. They will never have the capability of doing it, even if Palestine were free. It's not like they.
It doesn't matter.
Mhm.
Oh my god. Yeah.
What doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter. All I'm trying to say is that you're essentially saying this group, who, by the way, I just want to say they prioritize like Palestinian deaths. Okay. They 100% prioritize killing other Palestinians in order to further their cause. Okay, their cause of terror and whatever the fuck. Okay, but like, yeah, you're saying, oh, this one genocidal group is actively resisting this other genocidal group. But then, you know, it's like a necessary evil or something like that. That's essentially the way you're framing it. Okay, so you know.
I don't think that
They're
it's
not even
exactly necessary. I also don't think I'm in a position where I can say, like, this is the right way to resist a genocide. And I also think that...
No, you're right. It's not necessary. They're just evil. Okay, like they're just straight up evil. They're not even necessary. They're just evil. Okay, so I don't know why you're like, yeah.
No, what I'm saying,
Yeah.
I'm not even saying they're not necessary. I'm not saying they're not necessary, and I'm not saying that they are. I'm saying that the reason I can't say whether or not they are or not is because I am not the decider of the proper way to resist a genocide. Like, it's just like with the Warsaw Jews. I can't look at the Warsaw Jews and say, like, oh, that was wrong. Killing those civilians was wrong. Stealing those supplies was wrong. They were resisting a genocide. They lived in the Warsaw Ghetto and were resisting it. Who am I to say that Hamas is wrong for doing what they do?
But you haven't supported any of the genocide point ever. Like, you haven't.
Oh, wait, can you repeat that?
Like, you haven't brought up a single thing. Like, I asked you to show some proof for the fact that Israel is committing genocide on Gazans.
Okay,
and so proof? Far, the only thing we've talked about is like all the reasons that Israel is not committing genocide on Gazans. The fact that they're taking so long, the fact of the pamphlets and the leaflets, right? Yeah, like there's so many, like, fuck, like, dude.
So if,
like, how do you counter that?
Let me pose a hypothetical, maybe a silly one.
Yeah.
Let's say instead of the Nazis doing exactly what they did, they instead removed Jews from their home, and they said you had to leave, and they slowly but surely consolidate them into one area of Germany, one small city. And then when they got them all there, they start lobbing bombs at them. And then when the Jews start resisting, when they form resistance groups, okay, like militias and coalitions, then they say, well, actually it's justified because we're just fighting the evil terrorists. And then they keep bombing. Would that be a genocide?
I have a question for you.
What's the question?
Why that would be genocide, but I just want to say, why didn't you think the Nazis bombed the Warsaw Ghetto? Why didn't you think they did that? They could have. They have bombs back then. Why didn't they do that?
Why
did they ship them off
speculating.
to, like,
I don't know exactly. I can say perhaps it's because they wanted to use the Jews for their labor, use their bodies, maybe, or maybe it was because
I'll tell you why.
There were other innocents.
It's because
that couldn't have been it.
Because it's quiet. It's partly, and I assume it's probably because it's quieter, right? Because of whatever, the bombs would be like a little bit overkill to destroy infrastructure and stuff.
Okay.
My point is this. My point is this: is that you're clearly trying to make a parallel to Gaza, but I promise you, a genocide would be so much more efficient if it wasn't bombing, because the world can see that Israel is bombing Gaza. Like, do you really think that they would conduct genocide this loudly?
So what you're telling me is...
Or would they... Or would they? Hold on. I just want to say a piece of evidence of prior genocides is like for the Bosnian genocide, they had death buses. They shipped Bosniak Muslims off on these death buses to go to these death camps. Okay, same for the Jews. They shipped them off on death trains to go to the death camps. Okay, where is the death trains or death transportation for Gaza? Where is it?
That's not a requirement for a genocide. That is not something that
Okay,
has
but
to
I'm just
exist.
saying, I'm just saying so much aspects don't match up to prior genocides. It just makes no sense. No, like a lot of symptoms just simply don't match up here, right? It's like mounting and mounting.
I think
You're the one comparing to Warsaw Ghetto. By the way, you're the one
Yeah.
comparing to Warsaw Ghetto, not me. Okay, you're the one
Yeah.
comparing that. So I'm just simply trying to draw parallels here, right?
It's not. There is never going to be. First of all, no two genocides are the same, and I understand that this genocide, I think it's a genocide. This one is different. Okay, is a little different. That doesn't mean that it's not, and I understand that the burden of proof is on me.
You don't think there's similarities? Hold on, you don't think there's similarities between all genocides?
No, there are. I'm saying no two are the same. Of course, there are similarities between them. Yeah, and the one that you keep referring to, the Bosnian genocide, I know a bit about it. I don't know a lot. Okay, I'm more familiar with the Rwandan genocide that was like 10 years ago.
Okay, that's fine.
I
I'm
know-
teaching
yeah.
you now. Okay, it's like
I
whatever.
appreciate that.
Okay,
Yeah, I'll look into it as well. It's something I'm not as well read on, but yeah, no, I don't think that the death trains or whatever are a requirement for a genocide, and I don't think that the lack thereof is indicative that this isn't a genocide. The main indicator that this is a genocide is that you have a group of people in a densely populated area that can't leave, and they are constantly being murdered. They're constantly being killed by the IDF. That's what makes it a genocide. Thousands of people dying. That's it. It's systematic.
They're trying to
it's
get
ethnic
rid of
cleansing.
Hamas. They're trying to get rid of Hamas.
I don't think that like Hamas surrendering would put an end to this. I don't. Like, I know people keep saying that if they just surrendered the hostages, it would be over. I don't think so.
It would. It objectively would.
The
to a degree,
occupation was
right?
going
it
on
would be
before
far better.
Hamas. Before Hamas existed.
But Hamas, if Hamas would release every hostage, right, and then they just gave up their arms and allowed Israel to reestablish the Palestinian Authority or whatever the fuck, okay, inside of Gaza, I guarantee you it would stop. Absolutely. So I don't know why you're saying this.
Yeah, I think that if Hamas laid down their arms and said, "All right, we're not Palestine anymore. Like, this is Israel's land, and like, go ahead and erase all of our culture and history," then yeah, that would probably maybe that would work. I don't know. I don't think I would expect Hamas to do that. And again, I don't think that I am the person to decide that. Like, what is the right thing for Hamas to do here? I think that they are
I have
facing...
a question.
Hmm?
I have a question. Why don't you think why do you think bomb shelters are practically almost unheard of in Gaza?
I don't think they'd be useful.
Why do you think that's the case?
I don't think they would be useful at all. Not in the slightest. I don't think that they would help even
Okay.
like a little bit.
Then explain the fact that Hamas hides all of its guns in the tunnels where it would be safe from the
That
bombings,
is
but
what
it doesn't hide
that
other
is what
Palestinians.
Israel claims.
Why
That is what
doesn't
Israel
why
claims.
doesn't Hamas hide
Mhm.
Palestinian citizens in the tunnels if they care about Palestinians so much?
Why does Israel put their military bases in the middle of fucking cities? Okay, I'll tell you why. It's not to result in the deaths of more Israelis. Okay, as much as I hate Israel, I don't think that's why they do that. I think it is strategically advantageous to do that. Okay, that's it. That's why Hamas does that.
You're not answering my question. You're not. I'll be
did.
more than happy to answer your question after you've answered mine. No, you
Okay.
have not.
Why you want me
Why
to
don't
say?
Hamas? Why don't Hamas protect Palestinian civilians in the tunnels in which they store their weapons safely?
Why do they not do that? Because
Yeah.
because Israel has bombs that are capable of penetrating into bunkers. You're not safe in a bomb shelter. And also, like I said, I know that there are like pamphlets or whatever.
So
Sometimes
why
hand
are
out
they
pamphlets.
why are
There's
they
no
able
warning.
why are they able to keep their weapons safe in the tunnels then?
I wouldn't say it's safe. Israel has conducted
It's
operations.
safe.
The
It is
IDF
safe.
is okay.
No, the tunnels have running water, running electricity, right? They are able to keep their base of operations secure. All right. There are many reasons
Who
why
says that?
they are also, by the FYI, they're also hiding the hostages in the tunnels. Okay. So again,
According
all right, it makes no
to-
sense for you to say this.
According to a government, the Israel. Just to be clear, just so your viewers understand, this is what Israel is claiming, and I'm not saying that everything they say is automatically a lie. Okay, what I am saying is that it would be beneficial for them to lie about this, and also they have told lies in the past. Okay, tons of them.
Do you okay? Do you think it's not beneficial for Hamas to lie?
Sometimes it depends. Why?
Okay. Do you remember when the hospital was being bombed in like the first few months of the war?
Yeah. Which one? Which
You know how the I think it's not whatever the fuck, Al Aqsa.
Is that the one that
think.
they where they raided the tunnels and they had like the video about it? That would have been soon after the October 7th.
No.
Different one? My bad.
No. Hold on. So basically, in the first few months, okay, let me just explain why I'm bringing this up, okay? In the first few months, okay, Hamas basically lied about the hospital being blown up and then 500 Palestinians dying, when in reality, that did not actually happen.
Okay.
When the first few months happened. Right?
That's okay.
So,
that's messed up.
So again, it seems kind of crazy to me how you are bringing up the Israeli government lying for their own benefit, when in reality Hamas has also done that, right? You should be bringing them up both, right? If you're really going to be saying, "Oh yeah, you know what? Whatever."
No.
And in addition,
I don't have to do that.
Huh?
I don't think that I need to talk about how Hamas lies, how Hamas does bad things. I don't need to.
Well, you already defended Hamas so much. You already defended Hamas so much, right?
Yeah. Well, like I guess if by defending them you mean I again contextualize why they do the things that they do, which is resisting a genocide, then yeah, I'm defending them. Okay. Again, I don't condone any of the like awful shit that they do. I think that it's terrible. I don't like it.
They're not resisting a genocide. They're actively,
I know you don't think that,
condoning, like they would rather genocide their own Palestinians. You understand?
Yeah. I understand. I understand what you're saying.
Why do you think they don't prioritize Palestinian well-being, physical health, or like they don't allow the aid or supplies to reach
because
the
they
Palestinians?
live in
Why
fucking
do they rob
Gaza?
from international supplies?
Because there are bombs dropping on them all the damn time. Like they don't.
Okay, that makes no sense.
What do you mean?
No
It makes
international
no sense.
International aid goes into Gaza.
Oh, you're saying that they steal supply. Yeah, they steal.
Supplies.
Oh, yeah, they steal them. They put them in the warehouses. Yeah, according again to whom?
They don't give it to Palestinians. They don't give it to Palestinians.
Well, it's actually Israel that, blocks aid from entering Gaza in the first place. Okay, if you want to make the claim
Okay, we're not even there yet. We're not even there yet. We're not even there yet.
Oh, but Hamas steals the supplies. But who stops the supplies from getting there in the first place?
It's not just the Israeli government that is claiming that this is happening. Okay, it's also third-party organizations that is confirming that Hamas is in fact stealing supplies and raiding supplies at gunpoint, whatever the fuck, okay, from international aid.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I don't even know why the fuck you're saying, like, implying that everything is like an Israeli propaganda piece.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why, and it's because I really do not trust the Israeli state. I don't trust them. Okay, I understand that, like, I'm like, oh, I'm assuming the worst. I'm like bad faith in Israel.
I'm literally talking about international third-party groups, not the Israeli government. So I don't know why you're going to the Israeli government again.
Yeah, I was explaining why I doubted that claim in the first place. But with you saying that these third-party groups have said that, okay, I guess Hamas has stolen supplies. I'll concede to that. I don't know why they did.
Okay,
I
so
can only
therefore,
speculate.
okay, right. Okay, so if you concede to that, so therefore they are not resisting a genocide, are they?
Why not? Why does that mean they're not resisting? Because they want it to happen. They want.
Hold on. Let me talk. Let me make the connection for you. So, if the Israeli government is conducting a genocide and people are trying to aid Gazans, and Hamas is stealing supplies from Gazans, which all of this that you're admitting to, then therefore is Hamas not complicit in the genocide of Palestinians according to your own definitions?
No, of course not. Just because they steal supplies for whatever reasons they may have, I can't automatically assume it is to kill their fellow Palestinians. I just can't. There could be any number of reasons that they're doing that. I know that it looks bad, and maybe that is what they're doing. Maybe it's like for publicity or whatever. They like want people to, they want to increase the number of deaths so that like it does positive PR for them or something. Maybe.
I'm catering to your argument. Do you understand? Like, I don't even think there's a genocide going on, but for the sake of argument, I'm saying, yes, there is a genocide. But even by that metric, you sound insane by saying that Hamas is also not complicit in that genocide by admitting that they're stealing aid and not giving it back to Palestinians. That's insane. What you said is insane.
But who is not allowing aid into Gaza? I understand that you claim Hamas and, maybe they are stealing supplies and hoarding them in warehouses.
Okay.
But
why do you think aid is not going in anymore? Why do you think aid is not going in anymore? Why do you think that is the case?
Because Israel is stopping it. Because they want to
Because
control
Hamas
it.
is stealing them, you moron. Because Hamas is stealing them and not giving it back to Palestinians. It's not going to the Palestinians in the first place. They're stealing them.
Then let in more.
And raiding them.
Let in more supplies, okay? Israel, it is,
and
no matter what, it is unacceptable.
Hamas,
it is unacceptable for them to prevent aid from entering Gaza. No matter which way you cut it. Why would they not allow food and supplies?
Hold on. I don't even want to grant you the fact that I think what Israel is doing is bad, okay? Because I do think what Israel is doing is bad. But regardless, I don't even want to grant you that, because the reality is that you won't even acknowledge the reasonings behind why somebody might like blockade aid to Gaza in the first place.
Yeah, I don't see that as reasonable. I don't see starving a population, a dense population of people, purposefully as ever acceptable, no matter what Hamas is doing.
You don't think stealing aid is also genocidal?
No, I don't think that Hamas is genociding Palestinians. I will never say that they are like the main ones genociding Palestinians.
If according to
you, they're contributing to the genocide. Fine. It's still Israel doing it. They are the main perpetrators in this. You can assign fault to Hamas. You could say like, oh, they're terrorists. They do terrible things. Fine. I don't like Hamas. I don't like what they're doing either.
Well,
but they're resisting a genocide.
The only reason that right now I'm addressing Hamas is because you defended Hamas on multiple occasions. That's why.
Again,
does that make sense?
I don't think I defend any of the terrible, awful things that they do. But I do. I will defend their existence. I will defend the fact that they exist because of what Israel is doing. Because that is why they exist.
Hold on. You defend their existence even though you acknowledge that they do terrible things. What does that say about you?
That says that I am a person that like has a nuanced perspective.
It means you enable horrible shit. hold on. You're trolling me. You have to be trolling me. There's no way. I think that I'm being trolled right now. You're trolling me.
I'm not trolling you.
There's no way. There's no way you're being serious right now. Like, holy shit. Like, you are so you contradict yourself, like, after 5 seconds. Like, constantly.
I don't. I really don't. You have failed to explain to me how I contradict myself. Yes, groups of people that do bad things, they are like, sometimes what their end goal is just and it's righteous. That doesn't mean that everything that they do, the means to the end, are good. Okay, like, I don't think that Hamas killing innocent civilians is a good thing. But I think that they are resisting a genocide, and that's why they're doing it. That's it. And yes, I make the comparison to Warsaw Jews. And it is an apt comparison. Because Warsaw Jews killed innocent people.
You just contradicted yourself.
How?
You said provide evidence for you contradicting it, but you just did. You literally just said Hamas is resisting a genocide when you already admitted that they are complicit in the genocide. So I don't know why the fuck, like, there you go. That's the evidence.
If you want to say that they are, like, partly responsible for the genocide because they stole supplies and hid them from Palestinians, I question the validity of that claim, and I'll look into it. I will. However, I still don't think that means they aren't resisting a genocide. Like, they can do both. Two things can be true. They can do things that are harmful to their people. They can do things that are harmful to Israelis and still be resisting a genocide.
So Hamas is simultaneously resisting a genocide and being complicit in the genocide? Is that what you said?
No, that's not what I said at all. I said that maybe what you're saying is true, and maybe that makes them, like, partly responsible somewhat for some Palestinians dying, but not anywhere near at the scale of what Israel is doing, because number one, Israel is blocking aid from entering Gaza, and they're bombing the fuck out of them every single day and night. All the time, constantly. And they're always breaking the peace deal, okay? It's always Israel that fucking breaks it. It must be Hamas's fault. It must be because they are evil terrorists, and that's it. I am not going to look any further into it.
Okay, final words. Go.
I have nothing left to say. Other than, if you want me to repeat what I said, yeah, I think that there's a genocide going on. I think that Hamas Abi Piker is not a terrorist supporter, actually. And you know, that's pretty much it.
Okay. Thanks for coming on. Bye.
You're welcome, Foodshops. Thank you for having me. And I love your audience, okay? I love you guys. Especially you, Dr. Sess. I saw you in here, you motherfucker. Hey, I want you to know, Dr. Sess, that you are one of the most unhinged individuals I have ever run into on the internet. You would really like this one VTuber that I've been watching lately. I made some videos about him. You should look into it. And make sure you drop a like on all my videos, okay? I know that you are consistently watching them. And put them on 2x speed. I know they're kind of long, okay? But you can watch them. You can watch them on 2x speed. But, yeah, anyway, the VTuber I was talking about, he goes by Nuxanor, or, Nuxtaku.
I fucking hate Nux. Man, I fucking hate Nux. And
you
to
hate
be
him?
honest, I don't watch your videos. I just watched it one because it was about Foodshops, and that's all.
Well, I made plenty more videos for you, Dr. Sess, and I appreciate you being such a loyal viewer, watching all of my videos. I know that's what you just told me just now. Thank you. Alright, well, I'd say that was a pretty productive stream, chat. I like that. Anyway, this is how I'm feeling right now. Yo, me when I'm a terrorist. I'm a terrorist. That's right. That's what they're saying about me now. It's weird. I don't really feel like a terrorist. I don't know. I love Hamas. I love Hamas. That's right. That's right. That's why I defend them so much. That's why I'm over here defending them so hard. When I constantly am saying that I don't approve of them murdering civilians. Yeah. Well.
Okay, guys. It's about time to end stream, okay?
Yeah, I know.
Foodshops, thank you.
I know, you're tired.
Okay, it's time to end stream. Alright. There's nothing else.
Genocides are like snowflakes? Yeah. Gaza Health Ministry, which is Hamas connected, right, says 55,000 deaths total so far. Total population was 2.1 million at the beginning. Yeah, they only killed 60,000 people. First of all, it's not fucking 60,000, okay? It's more than that. But it's only a few dozen thousand people.
To put up with this shit.
2.61%. He said half the population was dead. 2.6% is not 50%. Alright. Alright, that's me.
That'll be the end of it, I think.
Yeah, thank you, Food Shop. Alright, look, it doesn't fucking matter. First of all, there's... I don't think that's accurate. I don't think that 2.1 million is an accurate number. I just don't. But let's see. Current population is 2.1 million, which represents a 6% decline from the previous year due to the Gaza war. Yeah, it's only 6% of the population. Which, by the way, so what I said was right, yeah. Yeah, okay, it's not half the fucking population, my bad, okay? A slip of the hyperbolic tongue. The whole genocides topic is stupid. The problem is Israel moves settlers next Palestine settlements and then use those as an excuse to expand. Just look at the map over the last 50 years. Yeah, I mean, like, Israel is just pushing people, taking the next village, pushing them. That's what they've been doing. Okay, that's what they did in the 60s. That's what they did in the 50s. What they did in 1947. It's clear who the aggressors are. And is that Hamas, Zoo Phillips, or I don't get it. Ignored the question. So you are saying you rather believe Hamas than the Israeli government? Yeah. Yeah, unironically, bruh. Unironically, why the fuck would you trust the Israeli government? First of all, why would you trust any government in general? Okay, but like, yeah, I trust Hamas more. Okay, like I'm not saying I like trust everything that comes from the Hamas leaders either. Not that there are anymore. Okay, they're all fucking dead. Oh, we're talking about the AP. Oh, I'm glad she didn't bring up the fucking AP reports. Although, actually, that is a fun conversation to have. Maybe I should have brought it up. It would have just been a win for me anyway. Just say what you think. Say that they lie. Don't be a coward. Of course they lie. What about? It's Shop's favorite thing to say. Noja Hospital. Was the JDAM on call one? Yeah, that was the one where Hassan thought he was a military expert and he could hear JDAMs. Oh, they're talking about the missiles. Yeah. You don't think you have to think you were just spreading what Hassan says, who started the war. The genocide is true. Everything is permitted. Hamas is fighting to kill Jews, not fighting to resist genocide against Palestinians. Okay, it's over. He broke. He is shutting down. Resisting by starting war. I'm going to rewatch it. I don't know. These guys are saying that, like, I sucked. Like, I was terrible. Like, was I? Was it that bad? That was the first debate I've had since I was 16. No joke. No fucking lie, chat. That was my first debate in... I am 24 years old now. That was 8 years ago. Kick this clown down. The utter void of context that exists in this conversation is deafening. Who is the more evil, Hamas or Israel? Yeah, that's really hard for me to answer. I don't know. I went to university to avoid... Ooh. Oh, wow. No, I'm starting to feel this guy commits crimes, LOL, wanting to give sympathy to people like this. Yeah, don't be sympathetic towards people that are literally resisting genocide. Don't do that. No, don't do that. No, you're evil. You're evil for doing that. There is no genocide. You haven't been able to sustain your claim about it being a genocide. I do not. I don't know how to... if you don't believe it at this point, I don't know how to convince you. Like, you have a dense population... I'm not even gonna say it again. I'm not gonna say it again. I'm not even talking to anyone right now. According to this guy really should learn what the bigotry of low expectation is. Yeah, I just have low expectations for Hamas. That's it. That's it. I'm over here saying at least they aren't killing people. At least they aren't, like, doing this or that. The fuck are you talking about, man? Never once did I say that. I acknowledge literally everything that both of these groups, the Houthis and Hamas, do. And I do not approve, okay? I'm over here. I'm a guy. I live in the United States. I'm over here and I'm saying I don't approve. Okay? I'm saying that, like, it doesn't really fucking matter if I approve or not. Okay? Because I'm just a guy in America. Okay? I'm sitting over here in front of my computer. Like, that's it. I went to university to avoid arguing with idiots like this one. And now I watch Foodshops doing it for fun. Yeah. Yeah, I don't believe that you graduated from any legitimate institution, Doctor says, you fucking moron. Me, when I read Spark Notes of the War, yeah, again, like, what? Oh, you're an expert? Are you an expert, Mr. Rat? You can never escape the idiots. Damn, he is dense. My brain, it hurts. He seems nice, but dense as fuck. If he wasn't trolling, he really needs to learn some stuff. That was surface level stuff he couldn't entertain. You're so patient, Foodshops. I did not feel the patience. I did not feel... she lost her shit a couple times there, okay? At least a couple times. I like how he said it started in the 40s. And then he said something about 1890. No, I didn't. What the fuck? The fuck are you talking about, dumbass? To be honest, I wasn't expecting that much when I told him about you agreeing to a debate 2 days ago. Yeah, Doctor says, Oh, he was scared. He was scared of a debate. No, I fucking wasn't. I'm still having convulsions. Just for me not being able to call him stupid. Yeah, well, you had that opportunity, dumbass, but you didn't. Because you're a fucking pussy, and you didn't want to debate me. Okay, but I'll debate you, Doctor says. I'll bring you on my stream. Promise I won't lobotomize anyone else. Bye, everybody. Blah, blah, blah. I have a rash. And I'm concerned about, can I send you a photo on Discord? All right. Oh, he was serious. Oh God.